This building campaign is about so much more than just raising money to buy a building or completing renovations. Of course, we would like to do those things, but ultimately our prayer is that every person in the Oceanhills community experiences life and heart transformation as we seek God in prayer, as we listen for His voice, and as we respond to Him in obedience. We believe He will deepen our faith and expand our view of His kingdom come here, now. And we are seeing that happen already.
I first started coming to Oceanhills a few years ago, and I heard a phrase that stuck with me, which was move one step closer to what makes your heart hurt. That was really helpful for me to hear, because as a perfectionist, I need to know that starting small is the best way forward. So I decided, why not sign up for the rescue mission and serve food to our friends without homes? After taking a few more steps, going a little more consistently, I noticed that my hurting heart was growing even larger. I also started to realize that when my thoughts don't match my actions, it can be really painful. And through that, I felt Jesus telling me that it's time to take more actions, and that being with the poor is something that I need to be doing with my life. And I don't think I could be saying that if it weren't for Oceanhills.
So I started off at Oceanhills from a very young age. I was there from about 6 years old and up, and I kind of had Christ throughout my entire life. And a lot of it growing up was through the church and youth ministries, and it was a lot of fun, but during my 7th grade year, I ended up falling away from God. And the problem was the fact that I didn't want God or the plan He had for me. I wanted my own plan, my own way of doing things. I had this falling out through different interactions between my parents and bullying and different things like that. So I kind of pulled away out of misunderstanding of who Christ was and not really knowing. It wasn't until that I had really started to involve myself in Oceanhills and the work that God was putting towards me that I saw the change in my own life and what it could potentially really mean for me.
So Oceanhills has been a place where I've been able to find community. It's been a really cool opportunity for me to find a place to be poured into. It's also gone out of its way as a community to make space for me to be able to pour into others as well. And I think that has really helped me to live into my sense of calling and purpose that God's placed in me. So it's been great to be able to be involved in a community that welcomes me into God's family. I'm also excited to be able to continue to live in this community and to be able to extend that to other people in my community as well.
Before we found Oceanhills, we thought that life was good, and we thought we didn't need God. Unfortunately, we went through a really terrible loss, and so we came to Oceanhills basically brokenhearted. And at Oceanhills, we found a community. We joined life groups where we not only made amazing friends, but we found an opportunity to ask really hard questions and to express our doubts and our fears. We felt that that was a safe place for us to learn about God alongside other people who were going through similar things. It's also been wonderful watching our children get to know God. They love all of the Oceanhills youth activities and the camps. They have learned that God loves them and that no matter what happens in their life, that God has plans for them. It just gives us as parents such great peace of mind knowing that our children feel seen by God. And it's brought us as a family really close together, and for that we're very grateful.
Wow, it's so great to hear the impact that our church family is having in people's lives. You know, this campaign, it's time. I just want to be clear about why is it time? Why is now the time? 3 reasons it's time. Number 1 is the outreach opportunities for us to be a mission outpost right here in downtown Santa Barbara. Imagine the impact and opportunities on the roof for events and parties and weddings and worship nights under the stars for young adults and college students. We want to be that beacon of light, that place where outreach is really happening. Number 2 is the stability that this building creates. We don't have the school district telling us you can or can't meet. We won't have landlords telling us we're going to raise your rent or whatever. It gives us a stability as we lean into our future as a church. And number 3, sustainability. If we will all sacrifice and give generously to this, it creates a sustainable future for Ocean Hills Church. If we all sacrifice, we'll be able to pay that mortgage down so that in the future we can invest the resources that God releases through you to invest in staffing, in developing next generation leaders, in being a more compassionate outreach church in our community. So I invite you now to join Natalie and I as we sacrifice and give. It's time.